In this episode of the Realty Classroom, we talk about the 5 key steps to building a real estate agent business. Hey, I'm Danny Griffin, the founder of the Realty Classroom, and today I want to talk about the importance of taking these 5 key steps to building a proper real estate agent business. The reason for that is because, number one point, real estate agency is not a job. It is not a job. Many people, when they first get their real estate agent license, they think they're going to hang it somewhere and that somebody's coming for them and will hand them this business and there'll be a business plan in front of you. Well, I found out the hard way. There is no such thing as far as I could find it. So here I am trying to help us get organized as a business because real estate agency is not a job. Remember that, number one. Even if you're an employee of a corporation, unless you have a very defined role inside a real estate agency, treat it more like a business, not a job. Point number 2, you need a vision for a business that works. Now, what does that mean? Well, a lot of people that are small business people think that they can just make up this entrepreneurial vision and just go at it. Well, that's why most small businesses fail, because there is not a clear vision. Many people have a vision for the freedom when it comes to entrepreneurialism, especially in the context of real estate agency. The problem is, what is the vision? Michael Gerber, in his book, The E-Myth, has a great line. Just because we know the technical business of, say, real estate agency, in other words, you know how to sell properties, does not mean that you have a vision for a business of real estate agency that works. Now, don't get me wrong. I know a lot of you will start to explain this away. Well, I don't want to own a brokerage. I don't want to be in charge of a team. That's not the point. All of us have a business, even if it's the solopreneur in real estate agency, the team, the company, the conglomerate, it doesn't matter. Foundationally, we need a vision for how that individual and then expanded business will work. So you really have to figure out how this business really works, and then you can put your framework around that, okay? Number 3, you must become, and this is going to be a tricky one, 3 people. You actually have to become tripolar. Yes, you do. And again, continue with Gerber's work, there are 3 types of people that we must become to be successful as small business owners in the context today of real estate agent business. And they are, number 1, we've already touched upon, the entrepreneur. That is the person that has the great vision. I want to be free. I want to do it my way. That's great. So a lot of us have that, and that's why we got into this business to begin with. The other one, I'm going to skip over the key point here. The other one is, as Gerber would call it, the technician or the salesperson. The person in each of us that has to go out there and help somebody buy a house, help somebody sell a house. That's the technician. So in other words, we have the entrepreneur and we have the salesperson. So what's the problem? Why can't we have a business that works? Where's the third person? The manager. Who's managing this business that works? So you see, understanding that those 3 people have to come together inside of us, hence the tripolar reference. We have to be a little bit of all these things. In fact, any small business entrepreneur has to be cognizant and aware of these things. So there are things we'll gravitate towards naturally. Perhaps you're a great visionary. You can really sell. Or even you come out of the womb born a manager. Good for you. But you have to recognize that all 3 of these are necessary to at least consider, if not become. I prefer to tell you, try to become them. Learn your adaptive style as well as your natural style. Now, number 4, once we get that far, set realistic financial goals. Realistic. I can't tell you how many times as a coach in this business and a broker owner, I have people come to me that are exuberant with that big vision. They have that, and I love that in people, right? Stretch. You've heard of the BHAG, the big, hairy, audacious goal. That's wonderful. But come on now, let's get realistic. Sell your first property, right? And then your next, and build upon that realistic financial target. So how do you go about doing that? Take a look around you. Go into multiple listing service and see, what does the average agent sell? Now, of course, that's a very low number and it could be disheartening. That's why I'm here trying to help. So you could have a vision that goes out further, but don't run towards the top producer who's been working at this for a long time and has found some sort of a business that works. You're not just going to jump into that. There's really no plug-and-play system when you're copying somebody else. Look at where the middle of the road is and look at how that business works. Set that as your first target and then you scale up. Now, of course, if I'm talking to any top producers, you really have to almost slow down sometimes and take a look at your funnels and what's not working. But we'll get into that further later on. Number 5, this is a toughie to recognize. You are either expanding. So whether you're a beginner or an expert, your business is either expanding or you're contracting. There is no such thing as in between. Now take it from somebody who's been in the business 17 years. I started as an agent with about 2,000 business cards and a lamp on a desk. I've been there and I've expanded. And I didn't think there was contraction happening as I got comfortable with the current systems. And then guess what happened? A real estate collapse. A digital age ushered itself in all at the same time. A perfect storm. So we had to contract a bit with those old systems to retool these new visions and systems to get back to expanding. So you always have to be careful. The reason for going through all of this is that there is a shadow coming somewhere that's always affecting small business people like us. So let's pay attention to the fact that we want to always focus on expanding and not getting comfortable, especially you veterans out there who always are sitting back and say, oh, no problem, I get all my referrals. Be careful. Nothing lasts forever. Always be expanding. So let's summarize here. The 5 key steps to building a real estate agent business are important because it will protect you from any major change or challenge that you may face along the way. This is a bulletproof business plan if you'll stick to the core principles. Number 1, in summary, remember, real estate agency is not a job. You don't show up and somebody hands you a task and you get a check. You're responsible for a lot more running that as a business. Number 2, you need a business vision that actually works, not some delusional pie in the sky vision for how you'll get to somewhere. Get some help on how this business works and start to chisel it into a formula. Number 3, you have to become tripolar, 3 people. You have the entrepreneur and the salesperson, but in the middle is the manager we all must become. Number 4, set realistic financial goals and targets wherever you're at. Don't just pick a number out of the air. Look at how the business actually works in your marketplace and make some fair estimates as to what realistic is. Get there first and then expand. And lastly, you're always either expanding or contracting. I'm here to help you become aware of that key point. Okay? So remember, these are the 5 key steps to building a business that works, that will protect you, your family, and your future. So I'm Danny Griffin, the founder of the Realty Classroom, passionate about getting this message out to you. Do us a favor, wherever you're seeing this, subscribe, like us, but most importantly, share it along to somebody that you think could use this information. We appreciate you.